Doma Sports Talk worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Now, the residue from the big fight. Another undisputed fight, going down. Now we got 8 undisputed fighters in the 4-belt era. I'd hate to say 8 because Lennox Lewis was one, damn it, before the WO meant something. So we got 8 plus Lennox Lewis, okay? And Evander Holyfield, but okay, we got 8, and I can name them all, but you guys probably don't want me to go through the 8 names. But we got 8, with Devin Haney, just this year, Devin Haney, Jamel Charlo, and Canelo, who I would go 7.5, because Canelo, I think, needs to fight Benavidez to really, because they gave him one of the titles, but whatever. But Canelo is one of the 8, and then you got Bernard Hopkins and Jermaine Taylor, of course, and then you have Josh Taylor, and you have Alexander Usyk, and maybe I'm missing one up in there. But, it's 8 of them in the 4-belt era, which is only about 25 years, and that means it's very important. So the latest has to be Devin Haney. And for those who know, Devin Haney's been going through a long time. Devin Haney could have been undisputed when he was 21 years old. He's 23 now, and he's still the youngest undisputed champion of all time, but he could have been at 21. He's been trying. Them people around him, the Lomachenko's of the world, and the Teofimo Lopez of the world, and Kambosos of the world, all of them, they wasn't really in a rush to fight him. Speaking of which, what I've heard, I'm just going to, I don't have I'm not sure from one source, is I'm hearing that ESPN is counting Kambosos and, who was the other dude, Teofimo Lopez, as if they were undisputed. If that were the case, we wouldn't need this fight between Haney and Kambosos. The franchise title does not count, okay? You can go to a bubblegum machine and get one of those. It means absolutely nothing, right? That's what the franchise title means. And if you want, bottom line, that's what it means. You probably can Google it, and it would probably be a bubblegum machine next to it. It means nothing. And that's the title that Kambosos and Teofimo Lopez had. It's just been made up. And anybody that's been about boxing, if you found me, you've been interested in boxing longer than a couple of years. Have you ever heard franchise title except for a year and a half ago when they gave it to Canelo Alvarez to not fight Charlo? That's what it's for, okay? It means absolutely nothing. So that doesn't mean we can't count all these other people who got 4 real belts and then start counting people who avoided people and then got a franchise title. That means nothing. They said it wasn't a belt. It was just some kind of designation. Now it meant they turned it into a belt. No, doesn't count. So we've only had 8 real undisputed champions, okay, in the 4-belt era. Now, Devin Haney beat the living daylights out of your boy Kambosos, meaning he dominated him. Most people even had it 12 rounds to 0. I gave Kambosos 2 rounds where he drawed. I couldn't give him the round just because he landed a punch or 2, but was jabbed in the round the whole time. But he was competitive, even though he did lost all those rounds. He was still in the fight, he was still trying. But I already gave him his props for trying and being in the fight. But what I did tell you, right before, like I've always do with Domadamus, I guess I'm going to have to start calling myself, basically, is, inevitably, right, they're going to start calling the fight boring because the wrong guy won. Now, we've seen this in Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao, right? Manny Pacquiao didn't want to fight Floyd Mayweather, take a dope test to do so. They got mad at Floyd Mayweather for asking for a dope test, not for the guy who didn't want to take a dope test. Remember that, these people. So do we really care what those kind of despicable people want? They're telling a guy that's saying, hey, let's play on an even playing field. No, who are you to ask for a dope test? So at that point, your opinion doesn't matter anymore because you're despicable, right? To quote one of my favorite cartoon characters in Daffy Duck, you're despicable. So why should we even care about what you think? Because you don't care about fair play. So when we're talking sports, you should only care about the people who care about fair play to everyone. So if someone is saying, I would want you to fight this guy doped, then that's it. His credibility's gone. And forever. Until he says, I'm sorry about that ridiculous, it was a slip. I care about fair play. That's why you can't really be on here caring about what people talking stuff like that. But anyway, right? But that fight, because Manny Pacquiao was neutralized, is universally known as a boring fight. And like I tell you guys on many occasions, I had a ball watching it. I thought it was an awesome performance to neutralize somebody. That's good boxing, right? And the same thing here. Devin Haney neutralized Kambosos. Teofimo Lopez didn't. So there you have it. Now, he was called boring by Ryan Garcia, who's the lightweight champion. Ryan Garcia had the nerve to come out and call the fight boring, right? But to Ryan Garcia, I think it's boring to not even show up at fights, right? Ryan Garcia has been slated to fight pretty much every mainstream lightweight that means something, and he never shows up, ever. Jojo Diaz, nope. Javier Fortuna, nope. I am the mandatory for this guy that you're calling boring, mandatory, but he won't fight him. So I'm surprised he feels emboldened enough to say anything. Normally your lips supposed to be sealed because you don't never come to fights. As soon as you're about to have a fight, you get depressed and all of this stuff. But talk a good game. I'm surprised he shouldn't have said anything at all, right? But whatever. Now Rolly Romero, he gets away with it because he talks smack about everybody. Whatever. Rolly Romero been beat up by Devin Haney in training, but he still calls him boring. That's just Rolly, because Rolly don't like nobody. That's all right, you know, whatever with Rolly. But he shouldn't be calling him boring either, or else they'll spar again and you get beat up again. Better be careful about who you call him boring. But that's just the way that is. Now, Jeff Finnick is a little bit upset at the trainer and of Kambosos. He's also from Australia, Jeff Finnick. Some of you guys should know him pretty good. I think if Jeff Finnick was even a champion. I'm not sure what weight division. But he's a damn good fighter, and now he's a trainer, I think. And he's mad at the trainers from Kambosos for not telling this guy, hey, you're going to have to throw punches in bunches if you want to get past this jab. You're going to have to put it all on the line. Even in the rounds 11 and 12, you should have been telling your fighter he's going to knock him out. You got to knock this guy out, right? So there wasn't no sense of urgency is what he's going on about. And he's right. You know, should have been more sense of urgency from your boy Kambosos, but it wasn't. So Jeff Finnick said, because you know that Devin Haney is a fighter that likes to hit, not get hit. These are exact words. I might put it in the description box. That's what he said. Like it's something extraordinary for a fighter to hit and not get hit. You know, he said, you know, he's a fighter who likes to hit and not get hit. That is a silly ass statement. Of course I'm a fighter that hits and not get hit. I think all of them want to do that. Some are skilled enough to do that, to implement that, and some are not. But I'm pretty sure everybody's not going in there, like I said at the beginning of my videos, to get concussed. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Right? You're not. No one is. That's not on drugs, coke, and of the likes. Because everybody else don't think they're Superman. And people that don't think they're Superman are not trying to get hit in the head from another human being. Period. And all of them aren't. Okay? Just some can do something with head movement, anticipation, reflexes, and stuff like that. And training, muscle memory over and over, and putting in the work. And those are the ones that probably won't get hit. Now, if you're sitting here jealous, envious, then you're going to call it something else. But that he's supposed to be trying to hit and not get hit. Now, but here's the kicker. Even Kambosos said his fight was boring. He didn't feel like he was in a 12-round brawl, and it was a boring fight. And what these kind of people fail to realize, you were in that fight. That's not a good thing to say. You were there, right? It's on you to make the fight not boring, right? That's what it is. So that's pretty much embarrassing to say. Now let me just give you something. Do you think that Gennady Golovkin, right? I'm saying this extra so you can probably, you know, have a little bit of empathy here or sympathy, because Gennady Golovkin probably looks like some people who call fighting boring, right? Or Marcus Maidana, right? Those kind of guys. Is there the other dude over there going to be able to make a fight boring with Gennady Golovkin? I mean, Canelo tried to make the first fight boring, but Gennady Golovkin ain't going to let you have a boring fight, right? Marcus Maidana, he's not going to let you have a boring fight. You see what I'm saying? So all Kambosos had to do is, you know, summon his inner Gennady Golovkin or his inner Marcus Maidana, and that fight probably wouldn't have been boring. Now, he probably would have been more pieced up. There'd probably been some more going on, some brawling going on in there, and he might have, you know, probably would have got pieced up. But what my point is they ain't trying to do that, right? Because you ain't walking up on Floyd Mayweather, and you ain't walking up on Devin Haney, and you ain't walking up on Shakur Stevenson. You know, people like that you call, oh, they just want to hit and not get hit. Hey, the other dude's probably trying to do something. But he's, you know, once you stop You know, you ain't going forward because you got hit with something. I remember Manny Pacquiao, the first round, he came out there running around, got walloped by 2 straight right hands and was tamed the rest of the damn fight. It's something that's stopping you from doing that. It's not a force field out there, people. Right? So let's get it twisted. And boxing generally, if you're watching boxing and not a bar fight, it's not boring. Things like soccer, right? Or baseball, that can get boring. I understand somebody that's not from America that's like, I ain't watching no damn, no 9 innings of no baseball. Shoot, I damn near was a pro in baseball, and I ain't watching 9 innings. I'm watching me some Shohei Ohtani right now because that's just ridiculous what he's up to. But baseball's a hard watch. Soccer, if it ain't Champions League, I am not watching no damn 90 minutes of no damn soccer. It's very hard. Even when I like somebody, like I'm Cristiano Ronaldo on the one side, my papa is on the other side, I'm still going to watch 45, 50 minutes unless it really means something, right? It's certain, that's boring. It's a big old field. You know what I'm saying? 100 meters times 50, 60 meters wide. That can get boring because you can't keep up with everything. But in a little old boxing ring, there is no excuse for boring. So let's stop with the shenanigans, right? And by the way, winning is never boring. And most of these fighters that people are calling boring win their asses off. That's the problem, bottom line. Now, most of those people that you call boring are Negro League fighters, right? Every one of them that I'm talking about. Floyd Mayweather's a Negro League fighter, isn't he? Right? Shakur Stevenson is. Ones I always mention, right? Devin Haney, definitely, I always mention him, right? Negro League fighters. But here's one that may be understand. People used to call the Klitschko's boring. The Klitschko's. And how the hell you gonna have 2 brothers in one damn house, right? That are ruling the whole heavyweight division for 10 years, and we got the nerve to call that boring. That was never boring. I never thought they were boring at all. I never understood that. Like, what do you mean boring? They're both 6'6", and they're disciplined. That's what you don't like, because the ones we like go get fat between fights. Have you ever seen a fat Klitschko anywhere? Klitschko's ain't fought maybe for 4 or 5 years now, and they still ain't fat. Right? I'm not talking about right now, of course, because they're going through a war, but even before the war. Right? That's discipline that they have. That's what's up. All right, the little baby, Vladimir lost a couple of fights, you know, because he's chinny. Come back with discipline and figure out, I'm going to get me my man trainer, right? I'm going to go and get him jab, jab, and grab. Okay? Until